This just in.
Feeling groggy in the morning? Coffee just can't give you that pep in the step that you're looking for? Try Pop Starts for that great get up and go that adults need. Pop Starts has the vitamin and nutrients that only grown-ups can partake in, and with flavors such as tossed salad and scrambled eggs, and Jack Daniels and Bud Light flavors to start your day or end it. There's nothing better to wake up to unless you count that depressing cubicle job. Well, anyway, try Pop Starts today. Pop Starts is not part of the Kellogg's Corporation. Pop Starts could give you diarrhea. Pop Starts are not found in your local grocery store.
In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. Imagine that, a future that's super black. Long as your skin brown, your superpowers intact. What would your powers be? Just hope it ain't super whack. Spatial manipulation, create a portal that's black. Maybe just super speed, time travel to run it back. Or cheat manipulation to keep my spirit intact. As I encounter evils the world face, demons the world makes, I needed the world at stake. Rest in peace to Chadwick, they killed all the Black Panthers. Told us white lies, I still marvel at black answers. Suits in DC, pray it lead to a civil war. It ain't no Justice League, what's the need to be civil for? Propelled like the juggernaut, it's clear ain't no stopping this. The world in grave danger, who can stop the apocalypse? They killed all the heroes, the new ones don't really care. But if you need me, put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.
Hey everybody, it is season 8, the beginning and the countdown to episode 100 coming up soon. We are on episode 76, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you are watching us right now, you need to tune in to us on YouTube, Twitch, everywhere, all the channels now, all the socials. Check out the link in the bio, which is right there at the bottom. The bio is at Blurred's Eye View on IG and at Chris.Fury1, where you can follow me for several reviews and memes of various different tastes. But until then, I am your host, the man on the wall, Chris Fury. Right now, life has happened to my two cohorts. One is working, one had to handle business, but that's okay because guess what? I'm the man y'all came to see. I better be. Anyway, before we get started, I want to thank everybody who's checked us out, who's been showing us love for the couple of weeks that we are off, and even watching the repeat episodes that were just shown this past weekend. And much love to the cousins down in Philly. We're just coming off the tail end of the HNIC Con. It was a nice success. It was a hell of a success, meeting family and friends finally after being locked down for 2 years. It was necessary and it was needed. But shout out to the cousins of Philly, King Kurt and the crew. And I want to thank everybody once again who's been showing us love, who's been subscribing, who's been responding to the posts, who's been showing us love just about everywhere. And you can still check us out on iHeartRadio, Opulence, the Opulence Radio app, and much more. But before I do much more than that, there's a lot that's been happening within the 2 weeks that we were off. And if you haven't been paying attention, then you were living under a rock. But if you've been paying attention to the TikToks, a lot of the posts that I've been making on IG and on Facebook, here, let's just get right into it. Why don't we? So much like the Inside You podcast that's hosted by Michael Rosenbaum, and there's new talks of a new podcast starring his Smallville alum Tom Welling. They will be doing Inside Smallville, where they rewatch several episodes of the hit series Smallville that kind of kicked off the whole thing on CW for superheroes. But along with that, Wilfredo, who many know as Eric from Boy Meets World, also started another podcast with his cohort from Kim Impossible, Christy Morano. I hope I'm saying her name right, Morano. Uh, Carlson Morano. Yeah, Christy Carlson Morano. And they have a podcast called I Hear Voices, where they speak to various voice actors about their jobs and everything else. But he also has just now joined up with his Boy Meets World castmates, Danielle Fisher and Ryder Strong, to talk about Boy Meets World. They'll be covering various episodes that they haven't watched since it's aired. They'll have several guest stars or a guest host on there as well from the rest of the cast of Boy Meets World, which I'm looking forward to hearing, checking this out, because, you know, it was the 90s. We were all here for it. But it was a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun to see those things and talking about old episodes that you can still go back and watch and kind of relive and have that nostalgia factor involved with it. So that was fun to hear. Also, if you've been listening to Spotify, and I said it last season, there is a podcast called Batman Unburied, which stars Winston Duke. Well, which is Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, is voiced by Winston Duke of Black Panther fame, and Poison Ivy is voiced by Emmy. I always forget this woman's name. Raver, Emmy Raver of the Umbrella Academy, who plays Poison Ivy or voices Poison Ivy. Well, they have been picked up for season 2 to do this podcast, and I got to tell you, I've listened to this podcast. It's 10 episodes. It's a great show, and what really does it is I listened to it on the road, and I was listening to it, and it really breaks down. It's the way it starts off, and you're just like, how the heck is Batman a forensic pathologist? What kind of story? Does it sound like it's an Elseworld story? I don't want to give too much away, but check this out. It's really fun. It's dope. It's just another look into in the mindset of Batman. I'm looking forward to season 2, and yeah, it's just a really lot of dope things that's happening there on that end. Also, as we know, San Diego Comic-Con is coming up, and Marvel obviously will be making a presence. As we know, Hall H is where all the magic happens, and already they're dropping tidbits of news everywhere. Already, it's just kind of going bananas with all the news they have. But some of the news that's just recently dropped is that Ryan Gosling has been tapped. He's now joining the MCU. No one knows what the role is right now, because, you know, Marvel likes to keep a pretty tight lip on everything that they're doing. And rumor has it that he'll be playing Richard Rider, who's also known as Nova. Now, for those who aren't familiar, Nova is just one vector of the police corps. We were already introduced to the Nova Corps in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1. They are their intergalactic police force. And as you've noticed, by the time Infinity War comes about, the Nova Corps were destroyed by Thanos off screen, however. My theory is, if this is the case, if this is who he's playing, that means that the hive mind of the Nova Corps, which this is the helmet he's wearing, his helmet pretty much holds all the information of the Nova Corps and everything else. Like I said, they're intergalactic police. So it kind of keeps all the information locked into this helmet. Richard Rider is actually someone who lives on Earth, and he finds out that his father was part of the Nova Corps, and he somehow inherits this helmet. So I'm not sure if this is true for the film version, not sure if Ryan Gosling will be even playing this role. But it's nice to know that there's a lot of fan theories that are running about talking about what happens with the Nova Corps. It's been rumored that there's going to be a Nova film coming out. There's a lot of, I mean, like I said, it's Marvel. There's a lot of rumors that's running about right about now. So it's not far from the realm that something major is going on. So also, in some other great news, we are getting Harley Quinn season 3 coming back July 28th on HBO Max. If you haven't seen this show, I gotta tell you, it's worth every moment. Harley Quinn, who's voiced by uh oh no, I'm blanking out on the name. She played Penny on The Big Bang Theory, but that's okay. But it's a big hit. It's not for kids. Let's get that out the way, because you find that out in the very first episode of season 1. This show is not meant for children at all. If your daughter is in or son are into Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, I gotta be honest with you, this ain't it, fam. You don't want to put them there. You don't want to put this on them. You don't want to. You don't want that. You'll be sending your kids to therapy. So, also, like I said earlier in the show, and if you've been watching my TikToks and paying attention to the IG posts that are made, I didn't really want to touch this one. This was because it's just like beating a dead horse, you know? But in a world where you can't help but to say you pretty much destroyed your own career, one, and like your namesake, tore up the entire timeline of what's happening with the DCEU going forward, is this son of a bitch here. And I'm not talking about the Flash. I'm talking about fucking Ezra Miller. There it is. So while I leave this picture up and at least let you think what could have been, Ezra Miller has been on a quite a tear lately. It's safe to say that he's become his own worst villain, and without any other pun other than saying he's literally the reverse Flash. Now, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, this was happening. As we know, Ezra Miller has been in trouble with the law within this past year. I believe back in March, he was arrested at least 3 times in a 2-week span as to assaulting and harassing a couple on Hawaii, breaking into their room, all types of weird stuff. So, at that point, it just seemed like, okay, dude's probably drunk, whatever the case may be. Something probably happened and this is going on. But then it got weirder. He got arrested again, harassing the same couple. And then in less than that 2-week span, 2 or 3 week span, he was arrested again, harassing that same couple. So now you're probably asking yourself, why is it this same couple? Well, here's the word. This couple, he's known for a couple of years. This couple, at the time he met them, had a 12-year-old daughter. And at the time he met this couple, Ezra Miller was 25 years old. It is said that this couple has gone to the police and explained what's been going on. And he has been grooming this 12-year-old girl who's now 18, grooming her and having an inappropriate contact with this young lady. Obviously, because gag orders and certain things being put in place that they can't say what, it's looking more like, at first it seemed on face front that, okay, this young lady probably ran off with him, but now it's looking like to be something else, with threats being made. Even the girl at the time, when she was 12, even testifying, saying that yes, he's being really weird around me. I'm not comfortable. I'm not with all of this, and whatever the case may be. So now we're looking at kidnapping charges because she's 18 now. And despite that being, I'm not sure how the law works there in Hawaii, but despite that being an issue, it don't look good. And then just last week, it was revealed that he has a cannabis farm. No crime there. However, on this cannabis farm, there's a woman he has living there that has 3 children, all under the age of 7, various ages, and that there was two witness accounts stating that while they're there, not only are this woman smoking weed along with some other people that's there smoking weed around the children, but there's weapons lying about. Weapons just lying about, guns just everywhere, not properly locked up, not put up, just out. Where one witness account said that the 7 or 5-year-old child was noticed to be putting a bullet into their mouth as if they were playing with it, as we know most kids would do. It's not cool. All of these actions finally led to here's DC had finally led to WB, led to the
people?
what's going on, DC has led to the WB, which is
this
now
guy.
Warner Brothers Discovery, finally saying, you know what? Moving forward, this guy no longer has a job with us. And not only that, moving forward, the Flash himself is off the table. Now, that's not to say whether or not we'll see another version of Barry Allen, which is the version he's been playing, or whether we'll see a version of Wally West. We're not sure. It's still unknown to a lot of people. Probably known in the boardroom, but I guess until this fire is somehow put out, because they can't even find this dude to serve him warrant papers. They can't even find this guy. He's off the grid. Moving forward, he no longer has a job in the DCEU. And here's the crazy thing. The movie that was supposed to drop this year, which was already pushed back for several reasons, was supposed to be the reboot or the restart of the DCEU, kind of setting things in certain order. Well, that's unseen now, how everything is moving forward. So fans like myself has already said that maybe they should drop this thing on HBO Max, call it a day, move forward. Because it's done. Like, there's no reshoots needed. There's nothing extra they need to film. It's just been pushed back. And I'm with them. I'm just drop this thing on HBO Max, let it go out. Moving forward, if you don't have another Flash film or whatever the case is going on coming out, then fine, whatever. You have no other plans, fine, whatever. Probably shoot a scene where you're introducing a new Barry. It can happen because Grant Gustin is currently playing Barry Allen. A lot of fans have stated that why don't you just let him have the job? There's so much going on. So much to the point that is just they take a step forward, they fall 10 back. Here's the hope, though. Here's the shining beacon. Not dealing with the Flash, of course. You have The Rock, who's playing Black Adam. And the way the DCEU has been going the past couple years, where they've just been dwindling in numbers when it comes to their films, and they're like, it's more misses than it is hits. They're hoping that The Rock, who's known to breathe a lot of life into any franchise at this point.
Yeah, but that motherfucker's dead on arrival.
Yeah,
There's not much he can save. I mean,
yeah. I don't know.
Black Adam might be fucking amazing, but that don't still
It don't save the
like
rest of the franchise, or not
justify
the.
that they got rid of Henry Cavill. Their Flash is out here living like OJ and Bill Cosby and R. Kelly.
All rolled
They
into
got
one.
rid of Ray Fisher.
Yeah.
So we could have got a cool ass cyborg movie. Like nobody wants to play Batman, and they had 50 of them niggas.
And
I
it's
mean,
so
the list
crazy
goes on and
about
on.
that
Gal
shit. Yeah,
Gadot,
it's
it's
she's
up in
still
the
on
air
the
where
docket
she's at.
because they're making a Wonder Woman 3. She's still on the
Why?
docket.
Because the second one sucked.
That's what everybody says.
The
And I
fucking
agree.
Godard suit, like, can we like? Did anybody not forget she was fucking Godard at the end? Like that shit does not change nothing. Like the fact of the matter is, DC is like 45 years behind. Like I'm mad, my fucking initials are DC now because like I wish I had a new name. Like I'd rather be Edward Humperdinck. Like this shit is crazy. Like I don't even like the initials no more because it's synonymous with trash. Like they're fucking horrible. They make
when you can
decisions
pick
left
out
and right.
when you can pick out what actually happened, like when they were starting, when it was rumored, well, not rumored, but when it was announced that they were doing the Flash film, Ray Fisher was attached to this film.
I bet
After he
smaller
blew the
now.
whistle, on the shit that happened on the Justice League set with Joss Whedon and some of the higher ups, they fired him. It was those higher ups that fired him. And then when the truth came out, the damage was done. Like you had a guy, and it was already said that DC wants to do more inclusive characters. They want to have more. I'm like, you had it handed to you on a platter. And the fact of the matter, the story that we got in the Zack Snyder's verse of Justice League, with dealing with the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie, was the story we should have been having, and we didn't get it. We had the fans had to fight tooth and nail just to get it. We were like, they know it's out there, it's released. Now you slowly have burned, your bridges are being burned.
It's not slow.
There's no
Let's
so
not
yeah.
sugarcoat this shit. This shit is not slow.
This shit. No,
That
did I say
motherfucker
slow?
got
I did say
gasoline
slow.
draws on, and he just walking across a bridge.
No, like you fired your Superman who wanted to continue playing Superman. You fired Cyborg, who is probably going to be, your first black DC hero on screen, on the big screen. You lost Ben Affleck, who had been praised of playing a really good Batman. Your co-host in the Aquaman film, you ended up having to cut her out completely out the sequel.
Oh fuck! I forgot about shitty draws.
Yeah, you could.
Shits
So
McGee.
you got Ezra Miller out here literally tearing up the fucking timeline.
Wildin'.
And all you got left is
nothing.
The Rock, Jason Momoa, Zachary Levi playing Shazam, and Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Well,
That's all you
the
got.
end of that.
Like you have it's scorched earth. It's literally scorched earth.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's crazy.
It's like
The
a
whole
shit
thing's
show.
crazy.
Yeah,
It is. It's an absolute shit show.
Spin doctors.
And all of this happened in the midst of Discovery buying out Warner Brothers and now owning them. And even they've come up and said everybody who was at the top of the chain over the DCEU are fired. They've been cut. And they went through everybody who was over at the top of that, they're done.
Jeff Johns, he still got a job.
Jeff Johns was more or less, he might, but he was more or less not only was he just a writer, but he's like probably executive producer. Yeah, he's like executive producer. But they may not, moving forward, they may go, well, it depends on his contract too. I don't know what his contract says.
It must be he must got some naked pictures of somebody if he still got a job. That
well, if he had, unless they've already said that They want to do something with Superman. They said within the past couple years it hasn't been done right. I don't know if that's a slight towards Henry Cavill, or if they're saying that it's not right that he wasn't able to continue the role, which I feel like it wasn't right that he wasn't able to continue the role. I wanted a Man of Steel too. I didn't want a Batman versus Superman. I wanted a Man of Steel too.
Nobody wanted that. Nobody.
BVS. Nobody wanted BVS.
Like
I mean, let me rephrase that. Nobody wanted the BVS we got. Let's put it that way.
Can we not say BVS? It just sounds like weird porn. Like that.
I'll take weird porn over the BVS.
It sucked. They had a Ninja Turtle as the fucking villain.
As Doomsday.
And then nobody know where the fuck Wonder Woman came from. And they both thought she was with him. And then the whole Martha thing really just fucked up everything. Like that just...
I will tell you this. The shining moment in that film... No, I would say the opening scene, when you got Bruce Wayne seeing how all the shit kicked off, that was a pretty decent scene. However, the other shining moment is his scene as well as Batman when he goes into the warehouse.
Yeah, that was true to life.
Yeah. So like those two scenes are really the most standout for me. Are the two most standout scenes out of that film.
Yeah, mine was when it ended. That was fucking phenomenal. I clapped so hard for them credits. I was like, God damn, yes, it's over.
So it's just, but it's scorched earth over there. It's literal scorched earth. Like it's like, I know somewhere in those exec rooms and the press agents and everybody else just is like, motherfucker, they can't go a week at this point.
It's Walmart Juneteenth ice cream all over again. Literally what it is.
I've never seen anything. I'm like, damn, your shit is crumbling before your eye. And I think part of it, it's a good thing.
Is it?
I think this is a good thing.
How?
Because now this forces their hand. I mean, they've already said
that's the problem.
They've already said that what they've gotten is not what you got to think of it from a shareholder's perspective and from an executive who's actually wanting to see some profit margins change. They're just like, despite all these failures, this is a good chance to say, not can we save it?
No.
What can we do to do away with it?
Nothing.
And just say, would you rather them? Here's my thing. I would rather them drop this Flash movie on HBO Max. Let's get it out the way. Because really, the only reason why people wanted to see the Flash movie was not because of the Flash. They wanted to see the Flash movie because of Michael Keaton reprising his role as Batman, as an older Batman. That's the only reason why people...
They could have just gave us Batman Beyond for that bullshit.
How long have we been screaming for that one?
See, the problem is we live in a climate where we want to give people second, third, fourth, fifth chances. DC has been fucking up for 20 years. Like, it's been nonstop. They gave us Superman fucking Returns. Like, they thought that was a good idea.
No, you know what? It would have been had they not done the same fucking story all over again. And it's nothing towards Brandon Routh.
If it was good.
Yeah, it was nothing towards Brandon Routh. If anything, everybody loved him. Yeah, everybody liked Brandon Routh.
I didn't. I hated him. I hated him. I wrote hate mail for the first time in my life after seeing that movie.
You wrote hate mail?
I've never hated anything.
Because nobody did, well, maybe you, but nobody disliked Brandon Routh's role as Superman. As a matter of fact, those events were addressed in one of the crossovers on the CW because as he was
Superman or something.
Yeah, no, he kind of was playing dual roles because he plays the Atom on Legends of Tomorrow, but in a different Earth. It was the Crisis. It was the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. That's what it was. And in one of the Earths, he plays that Superman. That's a couple of years later. And they say, well, what happened to his son? Because remember in Superman
that was
Returns, he had that little boy. And they said, well, he lost a lot of people. You know, something happened. They said kind of what happened, but he lost a lot of people in like a major war. And Lois was one of those people, and Kid was one of those people. And I think Perry White was the other one.
Good old Black Perry White.
Yeah.
Lawrence of Olivier.
Lawrence of Olivier.
I didn't like it. Like it was fucking horrible. What's his name? House of Cards, who got into some scandal.
Kevin
afterwards.
Spacey. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Kevin
guy.
Spacey.
Can't even say his name without cringing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it seemed like DC hire all these like red flag people, and just be like,
Crazy
you know
thing
what?
was we didn't know none of those red flag. Well, there's more behind that one
Man,
because
there's
the guy
signs.
who's the guy who wanted to sue. Well, the guy who was suing Kevin Spacey for sexual harassment turned around and dropped it and took a payment, which doesn't look right. But like now, once again, scorched earth, the damage is done. The damage is done. So like whether it was a warranted relationship or something that was going on, it doesn't matter now because you trashed my guy, you trashed my guy's career. So whether it was true or not, the damage is done. And you're right. I didn't want to see another Superman Return. With Superman Returns, I didn't want to see another Lex Luthor story. I didn't. We've gotten enough Lex Luthor story when it comes to those type of films. You know,
Lex Luthor was trash. The movie was. I mean, it was just horrible.
mm-hmm.
I
you
seen
had
the
your
trash
you had your
stuff
opening
first.
say. As a matter of fact, the openings, not the opening scene, but when he saves the plane, that was when he saves the plane, and when he's stopping a robbery and the guy shoots and the bullet bounces off like his eyeball or something. Only 2 scenes out the entire film. That was pretty much, one of them was shown in the trailer.
Yeah,
The other
eyeball
one
scene.
was, the eyeball scene was shown in the trailer, and the plane scene was earlier in the show, was like early in the film. After that, the shit was just like, why? So yeah, that ball has been continuously dropped. Meanwhile, their animation studio, they're probably just like, you know what, we're going to keep ourselves separate from that bullshit y'all got going on over there because we've been doing just fine these past 30 years with our animation.
The last few ones was a little spotty.
Well, let's put it like this. You can count on your hand how many of their animated films weren't all that great. They weren't horrible. They just weren't all that great.
Yeah, but see, that's see, we
still their number of wins is way fucking higher than their live action shit.
Yeah, but see, we gotta stop doing that. Like, well, it didn't suck as bad as some of the rest. No, it fucking sucked. Like, if it sucked, it sucked. We can't go like halfway in the middle. Either it's good for DC.
What was their last one?
In between, there cannot be in between. It's either in the green or in the red. And lately, they've been in the red on a lot of things. And
what's the last one that came out with? Or the last one you should see, I should say, because I'm trying to think when they last one that came out.
Max. I can't remember the last one I seen, but it wasn't. It was okay. Yeah, but it wasn't their best work. It just felt.
If it's like what's that? Throne, was it Throne of War of Atlantis? And
yeah, I've seen that one. That was decent.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was the one where it got brutal, and we didn't think they were gonna go brutal like that.
I mean, it really pretty much just retold the story of fucking Aquaman like they did in the movie, but it was a little different.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but they did a restart, and still, even their restart was better than what the fuck is going on with the live action shit. It's questionable. It's questionable what the hell they're doing over there. So, and I'm not talking about the animation studio. It's questionable what they're doing over at the live action part of things. Which I don't understand, because you're under the same umbrella. You would think that if you're over this animation studio, you don't want to tell the same stories as the live action. However, you would at least want to sit down with the people and say, what is it that's working for you guys that will translate well for the live action stuff? Not telling the same stories, of course, but getting some kind of insight. Get some of the writers in on the action or something. Look what they do over at Disney and Marvel. They have a whole fucking retreat. And if DC is working, and I mean you, DC, if DC is working on, and I'm just going to spitball, if DC is working on a Nova movie, and I'm working on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4, we need to be in the room together because those two entities tie into each other. And in order for this shit to work, we got to make sure nothing crosses the line. We don't want to cross the streams. We just want to make sure this is in sync. You know, which is why it works for them. I mean, their live action shows right now are pretty top tier. And they're doing it to the point where it's just enough where it still ties into stuff, but it doesn't need to be involved everywhere, if that makes sense.
I just think they don't know what they're doing.
They don't.
Ain't showing.
And I'm trying to think who it was. They actually want their new higher ups. One of their new execs is Zaslav. David Zaslav actually said we need a Kevin Feige-esque type person to run this ship.
See, no, I don't like that either.
And here's the funny thing. When Kevin Feige left Sony, he almost went to Warner Brothers before he went to Marvel.
Yeah, but see, that statement troubles me because that lets me know that you're not trying to do something new. You're just trying to copy what's already been done.
But see, okay, good point. I've always believed when it comes to these two houses, there's nothing wrong because I love for both. I love for everybody to win on this. There's nothing wrong with the formula. Just change certain things. If you see that it works, try that. Maybe not panel for panel verbatim, but at least give it a shot. Don't rush into it because that's everything they've done is rushed. Because look, 2012? Yeah, 2012 was, 2012. 2012, the Avengers drop. 4 years later, DC drops the Justice League.
Yeah, but see, they were supposed to drop theirs before the Avengers dropped. See, that's the problem. They
rushed.
That whole concept of take it and change it up. They had the formula first, but they fucked it up. Like they were supposed to drop the Justice League after Superman Returns. The cast was already ready. Everything was ready to go. Superman bombed. And they fucking came.
Oh, you mean the other Justice League? Yeah,
the original.
Yeah,
like
the other one. Yeah,
Green Lantern and Army Hammer, Superman, or whatever he was supposed to be, Batman. Like, they had the opportunity. So them trying to lament over that's like
I can't even remember why that one fell apart. I remember that fell.
Superman Returns.
Oh,
Superman Returns.
That's right.
Bombed. They fucking panicked, scrapped everything, and threw everything to the fire. So it's not like this is something new for them. The problem is they had the opportunity and blew it. Free throw line, game on the line, they shooting the jumper and miss. Lose the game, and then it just said, fuck it. We about to scrap the whole team and start all over, rebuild from scratch. It doesn't work because they don't know how to rebuild from scratch. They don't even know how to build what they had. So we can't be like,
and you do, and that's the thing, and that's the crazy thing.
Hell, if I had $1 million, I'd be cool. But they had the opportunity. You know what I mean?
They had more than just the opportunity.
I'm not giving them another. Well, if they had Kevin Feige and if they just have the secret Michael Jordan sauce that's in the water bottle. They might be great. No, they had an opportunity. They weren't forthright and they weren't good in that spot. That's not them. It's not their place to do live action movies that are great. It's cool. Everybody's not Marvel. They shouldn't try to be Marvel. They supposed to be something else. If they want to stand alone, that's why I hate that we should do this like they're doing it because it's working for them. It ain't working for them. It ain't working for DC. They've tried some Marvel things and it fucking flopped. So,
well, see, that's the thing.
Out what works for them and get into their lane and do.
Well, see, that's the thing. Them trying to, they're trying to do what Marvel is doing is fail for them because you're right. Marvel. They don't. Yeah, they're rushing it. Like, okay, if they said, don't turn around and do. Because we'll drop in between the Avengers and Justice League. They dropped what? It was Man of Steel. Yeah, they dropped Man of Steel,
which was good.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be, and it was originally announced supposed to be Man of Steel 2, which would have been fine.
They got fucking cute and was like, you know what? We're going to do what Marvel did. We're going to start introducing all these. No, you had one that was working. Work that angle. If you Steph Curry and all you could have
done Man of Steel 2 and you could have done Man of Steel 2 and introducced Bruce Wayne near the end. And been done.
But that's the problem. They trying to be what they not. They're not finesse. They are not power. They are the meek little running back. Run through your holes and follow your line. That's what you do. Stop trying to be a powerhouse because you lost that opportunity. You can't build that shit overnight and then be like, well, we're going to do what they do over here. Now we lost it, so we're going to still keep chugging along. No, sometimes you got to sit back and reflect on what you've done. And what you've done was your absolute fucking worst. And now to be like, well, let's just get a Kevin Feige. Like, no, because there's one Kevin Feige. That's why Marvel has one and you don't. And the guy you thought was Kevin Feige, like, sucked. So to try to steal somebody, like, I just don't.
I don't even know who they're getting. You know, it was Walter Hamada. That's who it was.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that concept of let's take what they have and apply it over here fucking is horrible. That's a horrible concept and it's a horrible business practice because you're not them. What works for me might not work for you. And vice versa. Like, people, like, if they should have stayed in their lane, they had a lane. They got Superman. That's your lane. Build off of that. Branch off of that. Man, it still was fucking phenomenal. I still watch it. And then you was like, let's get cute and introduce Batman and Wonder Woman and the fucking Ninja Turtle and Lex Luthor and Deathstroke and all these other, like, it was all over the place. Like,
hell, even that scene was even I wanted more from that. The fucking Deathstroke scene. I would have taken that.
And it made it an afterthought.
Yeah.
But the problem was they introduced it weirdly. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
very last minute. Very last minute.
It was all over the place.
Very last minute.
All over the fucking place. And one for one, I don't feel sorry for them. Like, I don't think they deserve another chance. I'm not giving them another opportunity. Like, that's just.
Do you think
they got to prove it?
Do you think since now gears are shifting again, because Flash was supposed to be their reboot? Do you think now that well, not now it ain't, but do you think now that it's literally on Dwayne Johnson's back to, like, we need a hit? Or do you think this is where here's the two furthest franchises they have right now that's still in the DCEU is Black Adam and Shazam. Other than the half-ass appearance by Superman at the end, which was an afterthought, and it was a ball dropped once again by them.
It was a throwaway. They was just like, fuck it, we're gonna throw Superman in here last minute.
Yeah, like, you wouldn't even give the man the job. You wanted to show him from the neck down. It wasn't even him.
They should have just left it out. Like, Shazam was good without it. They could have done without it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only reason Black Adam is even going to get mildly successful is because The Rock's in it. And I don't think The Rock is giving up some of that control. I think The Rock has say so in what goes on in
Oh,
that movie,
definitely.
or he
Yeah.
wouldn't have signed on. Fast and the Furious is a
He's been pushing
fucking
that shit.
example.
He's been pushing Black Adam, and no lie, he's been pushing Black Adam for 10 years.
Yeah.
He's been pushing it for 10 years. He finally got it. Like, and that's probably just like you said. I'm sure he just didn't walk in there and he ain't got no say so.
It's like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool. I know that Ryan Reynolds is in full creative control as far as
Yeah.
being involved in writing, the directing, the producing, all that. So he's fully hands-on. That's the problem. The Rock is going to do that with this movie, so that's why this movie will, I'm not going to say it's going to succeed because I don't know. But if it does, that's why.
It'd be
Because
nice.
you didn't
Yeah,
give that
it'd be
power to
nice.
Henry Cavill. You didn't give it to Gal Gadot, because if not, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have been Goldar at the end of that fucking movie. And that, like, you didn't give it to Ben Affleck. Like sometimes you got to be able to sit back and let your talent be the talent.
Yeah.
Like, you paying somebody multi-million-dollars to do this, and they've been doing it for a while, and their movies have been successful probably because they've had input.
Which is fun. It's funny that you mentioned that, because even with Ben Affleck playing Batman once again in Batman versus Superman, he had a great showing in that warehouse scene. But then you turn around and then you see him in Justice League, and he's like been toned down.
Not only that, but after
To a
that
joke
fucking
almost.
scene, they did the fucking Martha thing, so that really killed it. Every currency, every cachet that he curried, all that favor from that fucking warehouse scene, they did the Martha thing, and it was like, you know what? I don't even believe this shit no more. Like, I can't get down with this. Like, I don't take this motherfucker seriously, because he just kicked ass, and now he's crying because somebody said you're letting him get Martha, and now he's teary-eyed 14-year-old kid again. Like, that just,
He doesn't
I
fold
understand
that
the
way,
gravity
or shouldn't
of the
fold that
moment
way,
or whatever,
especially if
but
he's
he's
if
bonding.
especially if he's an older, which he was. He was an older, more grizzled Bruce Wayne. I don't see him folding like that. Not like that. In the midst of a battle, not like that.
It was just poorly handled. Like, it was, like I said, the whole thing is just, it's beneath me now. Like, I'm cool if they come out tomorrow with and be like, hey, we're doing Superman 2 and Henry Cavill's back. I'll be like, you know what? Save it. I don't want it. I just don't want it.
It sounds like it's too little, too late. Like,
Yeah.
we've been wanting it for so long, and the man has been wanting it for so long that
We've all moved on.
not only that, and it's weird to say. It's not even weird to say, but the other rumors is I wouldn't be surprised if Disney is courting this dude.
Why not? Captain Britain.
Exactly. I would not be fucking surprised.
It would be
the biggest. It would be the biggest fuck you to Warner Brothers.
I'm gonna give you an analogy. Right now, DC is the WWE, and Marvel is AEW. Everybody from fucking having troubles over at WWE is just fucking falling apart, drunk driving and scandals, and everything is fucking falling apart. And here, AEW is just chugging along, taking those people from WWE who wasn't getting a shot and bringing them over here and making them fucking stars.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to do that. And DC cannot make stars. They cannot make the talent be the talent. Like,
or they can't let the talent be the talent.
People that they do pick got some kind of fucked up thing. Like, Ezra Miller is out here. Like, the dude already looked sketchy. He looked like Pete Davidson. They both look sticky and like untrustworthy. Like, I just don't.
However, one of them seems to be more trustworthy than the other.
I don't trust Pete Davidson. I don't trust neither one of them. That's just me. They just look sticky and
here's the thing. At least Pete Davidson is willing to admit that he looks a little sketchy.
That don't make it no better. I mean, it lets me know that he ain't shit. But Kevin Spacey was out here looking weird. Like, it's just, the nigga did American Beauty. After that, I was like, he a little weird. I don't trust him like I think I do. So that's what I'm saying. Like, WWE, DC, they're falling apart, but they're still trying to make it seem like they know what they're doing and restructuring and all this stuff. It's worthless. The product ain't the product. Like, it ain't doing what it's supposed to do.
No,
And
and I
Marvel
think
just has
that
a
I don't.
leg up on them because they had a plan. They scratched everything. They gave up a lot. They sacrificed. They went back to the drawing board. And the last 10 years, they've been number one.
And
Because
still,
they said, fuck it. We swallow our pride. Shit ain't working. Start all over.
I mean,
We
they
start with story.
even
We
to the
start with a
point,
plan. They had a
even to the
game
point
plan.
where, even to the point where they just recently came back from a retreat saying we are set for the next 5 to 10 years. We have something set up. Like they're just like we have stuff lined up.
But
So
that's the point. DC has no plan. They got no playbook. They got no plan. And now they're trying to steal somebody else's playbook and use it, but they don't know the plays because they didn't write the plays. So
right.
they can run this shit like Marvel, but it ain't gonna work. And that's the thing that they gotta realize. And people saying like, well, why don't they just do what Marvel doing? Because they're not Marvel. That's number one.
Yeah.
If they were, they would be doing it.
Right.
They had the opportunity to be Marvel, but they fucked up. They dropped the ball. And now, and instead of just be like, you know what, let's rethink some things. You know what I'm saying? They scrapped it, but then they came out with more bullshit. So they didn't learn their lesson.
And once again, this falls on the heads of the higher ups, all the executives that's sitting at the top making these decisions. You're worried about the dollar. If you brought in the right company, the right people, you are, like you said, you had the talent. You had the talent. All you had to do was sit there and let the talent do what they're supposed to do. Step back. The money's going to make itself. And that's all they had to do.
If it was a fifth, we all be drunk, man. If they would have did it, they would have been cool, but they didn't. So here we are. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The revisionist history is cool, but we know they are who we thought they are. Like, they are who we thought they are.
I wish I had that clip right now.
You know what I mean? Like, we thought they was trash because they came out with Superman Returns. Like, the only success they had was Batman.
And Man of Steel. That's it.
And Man of Steel. But I mean, before Man of Steel, the only success they had was
Batman. Yeah, it was Batman.
They kept dropping that motherfucker out so many times. I mean, some of them sucked. You know, you had Bad Nipples and Val Kilmer and all these other shits, but they stuck with that. That's the only plan they had, was like, you know what, we gonna keep trotting Batman out there and let him shuck and jive for a little bit until we figure something out. But again, like, they have no clear, I don't see a clear plan. I don't see a clear goal. I don't even see the destination that they're going for.
Right.
So I have no faith.
It's kind of disheartening. It is disheartening. It is disheartening.
There's no kind.
To see that type of stuff. But in other good news, the girls are coming back. Harley Quinn's coming back July 28th on HBO Max. I can't wait for this one. I'm all board.
Come back. Woo, buddy.
Man, look. I will say this. You know what? I will say this. Let me take that back. Their theatrical releases are suffering.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Live action.
Their live action stuff that's like on HBO Max, like Peacemaker.
Peacemaker's phenomenal.
The Suicide, not the first Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. The one that's behind, the one that had James Gunn directing it. No, trust me.
First one, but
much fucking better than the first one.
I wouldn't go that far myself, but that's
trust. Believe me when I say that shit was much better.
It was 1A and 2C. I mean, it wasn't that far behind each other. It wasn't that far behind.
I'm like, nah, this is the same guy that just did Peacemaker. So
yeah, I mean, Peacemaker was fucking phenomenal, but I think that's because James Gunn is James Gunn and he has his own way of doing things. And he also is from Marvel, so he went Marvel style with DC. So that's the thing.
He's done team dynamics before with Guardians, so why not?
What I'm saying, like, you can do and that's the problem. Like, if they want to do something like Marvel, they need to get some of the Marvel directors, like James Gunn, to come over, and you know what I mean.
Well, you can forget about Jon Favreau coming over because Disney locked him down.
He's fucking a made man over there.
He was like, look, not only am I getting paid off of Iron Man, I'm getting paid off the Star Wars franchise too. Leave?
Bang.
Are you kidding me?
But that's what I'm saying.
Which is funny now that I mentioned the Suicide Squad. I don't think you should do this in competition if this is what you're looking at. But when you're promoting the Suicide Squad, which is a DC Comics property, you don't say in your trailers from the guy who directed Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, that's kind of like your competition.
Let me tell you why they did that. Because they knew without it, wasn't nobody gonna watch that bullshit. Wasn't nobody gonna watch that bullshit if they didn't prop James Gunn up there. They knew what the fuck they was doing. They went and got James Gunn for a reason. One, because he know what he's doing. Two, his name carries weight. And if they didn't say from the guy who brought you Guardians of the Galaxy, wasn't nobody buying that bullshit.
Yeah.
Not off rip. Not until they knew he was in it. Like, you know what I'm saying, directing it. But if they didn't put that up there, because they knew what they was doing. Because it's like, okay, the guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy, it's going to be like a Marvel movie. Which it was kind of was.
Yeah, it was.
That's all it is.
It was.
Like, they used his name because it carried weight.
So, that's pretty much all the blurred news for the week. So, I gotta play my outro for that. Yeah, but that was all the blurred news, blurred news for. So a phrase was told. So a phrase was mentioned to me on. I was stitched. I was stitched on TikTok for a post that I made. Oh no. And I had made a post on TikTok and it was talking about, this was from last week and it was Wednesday. And I said, we live in a time where we received the last episode of Kenobi, a new episode of Ms. Marvel, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness dropped on Disney. All of this on Disney Plus. The Umbrella Academy was released that same day. We had something else drop.
The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys. The Boys dropped on Friday.
It's a good week.
Damn good week.
Unless you're DC, then it's
at which point I'm literally looking like this. Just all of that.
Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld just starting up. So the gentleman said that we live in a time where we have an embarrassment of riches. And I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty deep. I like that. Because we are living in a time where we receive so much fucking content that we can't be bored. Not only that, you can't afford to be a toxic fan when you have so much stuff. Because when you and I were coming up, we didn't get shit like this. We didn't have streaming services. Yeah, exactly. We didn't get streaming services. We had to wait on a weekly basis, which they're trying to get back to. Disney is smart with doing that. Yeah, that's how they keep their subscribers.
A different thing than now, because if you miss it on Wednesday, you can go back and watch it. Back when, you know what I'm saying, Power Rangers, Dragon Ball Z was really first dropping. If you missed that fucking episode,
you had to
the next episode. They wouldn't give you no real recap of last week. You just had to fucking fill in the blanks on your own. So now
you had to wait. You had to wait for that. You had to wait for that re-airing that happened like 2 months later.
Yeah, 3 years to catch one fucking episode. You know how troubling that shit is? That's toxic. That's like fucking death. Like, you gotta wait 3 years to catch one episode that you missed. Just so you can fill in the blanks on one. Like, it's too much. So I mean, yeah, we got it easy now to where if I miss Ms. Marvel dropping tomorrow, I can catch it when I get off work, or I can catch it Thursday, or I can catch it over the weekend while I'm off. Or I can wait 2 weeks and just double binge 2 episodes at once. You know what I mean? And then I was like, yeah, this is a lot. There's a lot going on in that first episode. So
of which one?
I'm gonna set it down.
With the boys, or what was a lot of episode? Which one was show? No, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Nah, I can't hear you.
Hold on. Oh, wait a minute.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I can't. Okay.
You got me now?
Nope, still can't hear you. But yeah, so I
What's
binge
weird?
watched The Boys, and then I was like, you know what? It's still a lot going on, but I got the opportunity to watch it all because I can come back to it. So nowadays it's better because we have that opportunity and it's cooler. But I don't know if it embarrasses the riches because there's some shit I just don't want to stream like at all.
I will say,
We lost Chris.
no, I'm still here.
I'm in charge.
Yeah, I'm still
the
here.
captain now. Look at me. So I want to get back to what I was talking about earlier. So
Which is weird because I'm here. I'm like,
Harley Quinn
yeah.
drops. I'm going to be glued to that shit. Don't nobody call me. Don't nobody do nothing. I'm watching Harley Quinn because that show is fucking phenomenal. It's well done. That's the only win I'll give DC is that episode. Because that series, that and Teen Titans have been fucking phenomenal too. Is Chris unplugged something?
No, I'm still here.
I can't hear nothing.
I don't know. Check your what you call it. Hold on. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh.
Keep going. Yeah.
Okay. Apparently he wants me to talk about something. So I'll keep talking. In other news, how's everybody doing? There's a lot going on out there in the world. I'm just going to take this moment to jump on my soapbox. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I'm going to do it today. The Boys. I don't know what about it. There's a lot of dicks out there in the sorry, I didn't want to mention that earlier. That's why I stopped watching it because I was like a motherfucking dick explode with somebody in it. I was like, hey man, this is a bit much. There's a lot of penises out on this show, and I'm not really. If that's what y'all like, I'm cool, but I didn't really like it. But no, I mean it's a weird show with a lot of stuff going on, but it's a good show. It's well done. Homelander's a bitch and a half. A-Train's a hoe. Like, A-Train might be the worst black character I've ever seen. Like, he's so wishy-washy. He's sell out and shit, man. He's just horrible. A-Train might be Huey the worst black character I've ever seen.
Is this right?
He's so wishy-washy. Butcher are taking drugs to be soups. Like, that shit's just wild. There was a fucking, I don't know if everybody's seen it. Everybody seen it? Have y'all seen it? Friday? Because there was a superhero orgy. That might have been the wildest thing ever. It was like a whole. I'm gonna let y'all watch it, but y'all gotta get to it, man.
Yeah, because I could. Yeah, it's on. It's something on your end because I can still. I can. I'll just listen to the other end, and I can still hear myself. The beauty of live.
Oh, I muted you. My bad.
It's
Damn.
I knew it.
I'm like, muted Chris on my end.
Everything was working on this
show for a little bit. Goddamn, yeah. That's how you take over show. You think you crazy.
Oh no, thinking. Didn't you know? I can't be what I've been all my life.
It must have been somehow accidentally on purpose. Did some shit
accidentally on purpose. Y'all. But no, you're right. I've read the Boys comics. So when they said, especially when they give that disclaimer at the beginning, and I'm like, oh yeah, now you guys want to give the disclaimer. Seeing that episode, and I'm just like, okay, wasn't expecting that. However, that is nowhere near what I've read from your books. Thank God. They just pushed the envelope. They just pushed the envelope on the raunchy section. That's what they did. Because they showing titties, and I'm like, that's nothing new. All right, love sausage again. Okay, didn't want to see that, but okay.
Damn sure they want to see that.
Didn't want to see that again. But like MM said, I'm like, get that motherfucker away from me. So I wasn't surprised, but. Y'all didn't have to do my man. Y'all did not have to do my man like that.
Who?
Y'all ain't have to do my man, ML, Mother's Milk. Y'all ain't have to do my man like that.
Yeah, I threw up.
I was like, I'm like, motherfucker. Y'all did not have to do that dude like that. Not like that.
That scarred me.
And that dude got OCD too.
I got it now. I definitely got it now. I would have been cool with the juices on my jacket, but they ain't.
I'll be covering this and everything on Thursday on the Furious Reaction Review Show. But I'm gonna say it right here because
oh shit, I got flashbacks. That shit was horrible.
That was a hell of a fight.
Oh yeah, the fight scene was great. I mean, but the whole
it was Winter Soldier, Captain America, and Iron Man all over again.
Yeah, it definitely gave me Homelander held his own.
He did.
And that was the first time I respect this bitch ass through the whole show, was that moment right there. He's still a mommy's milk drinking little baby bitch ass back motherfucker, but still, in that moment, he got a little sliver of respect.
It's like, okay.
1% is respect, but it's still enough to be like,
even Soldier Boy was saying, he was like, you're wearing a cape. And all I kept thinking about was in the mode from The Incredibles when he snatched him down, like, no capes. And I'm just like, that's why you don't have a cape. But yeah, that shit was intense. It was a scene I actually like watching because I'm like, okay, yeah. And even Soldier Boy kind of felt it. He was just like, yo, this motherfucker might be giving me a run for my money on this one. He had that look when he choked him up and was slowly taking him up the wall. I'm like, you could see it in his eyes. He was like, this motherfucker might have me.
Yeah, J5. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a well done scene. I mean, they are really telling the story in that show.
Mm-hmm.
Sergey and can't think of her name, when she lost her powers and became human, they just thought they was gonna live a good life, and then the Russian came. Like, it was a lot going on. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on, but it's not like all over the place going on to where you can't keep up or connect the dots.
Yeah.
Which was,
and A-Train is a bitch.
Fuck A-Train.
Even A-Train's a bitch. And I wouldn't even have said that had he not been such a bitch. Like what he did after what he did with Blue Hawk, and I'm like, okay, motherfucker, you took out the mother, but you only took him out because he did something to your brother. You didn't do it for the reason that everybody else was. Yeah, you a whole sellout. When you snitched to Homelander because you was scared, little bitch. When you snitched to him. That was the problem.
Sold him out, man.
That was the problem. You sold the dude out. I don't even know what this dude's power set was, other than being in a boy band that he didn't like being in when he was younger. I don't know what that dude's power set was.
And we'll never know.
So,
but
yeah.
So it wasn't super strong skin.
That's for damn sure. But you know. What's the other shows we had? Well, Miss Marvel. I love what they're doing with Miss Marvel.
It's a little slow for me.
It's not the slow part for me. It's I like the representation.
I mean, I like the show overall. It's just compared to some of the other shows we've had, but again, they're introducing a totally new character to people, so it's got to be slow. It's got to be drawn out so you could really get inference on who she is and what she's about and what she really does and who she is as a person. So I get it. I'm just used to that fast pace. Hey, here's the story. There's a story. Here's a story. Here's a story. Let's go. But it's really done well, and it is a lot of different cultures involved, and they're really getting in depth in like her background and what makes her.
And who doesn't like that type of dancing? The dance scenes, look, that culture has some dope dance scenes. They always have some dope dance scenes. I'm like, yo, everybody was on point. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they rehearsed well, but yeah.
Everybody, I mean, yeah, okay. I like this. So, Obi-Wan was great.
I can't read the Star Wars.
Don't say that.
I said it. I don't care.
No, it was done well. All 6 episodes really do parallel the original 6 films from, and when I say the original 6, I mean the original 3 plus the 3 prequels. There is levels that it parallels. It really does. And that's last episode where it's Obi-Wan fighting Vader for the second time in this series. It was phenomenal. Like, it was good. And the young lady who and the young lady who plays, and I'm just calling her this, Baby Leia, because she's 10. Because they show Luke when he's 10 and he's on Tatooine, and they show Baby Leia when because they're twins, and Obi-Wan is the one that's trying to save her. She's the cutest little thing. Like, she shows like she's every bit Princess Leia that we know. Like, she's headstrong. She's about she's very discerning about a lot of stuff. And it's just, and she's, I don't want to say snarky, but for a 10-year-old, she's snarky. And it's Princess Leia, and Princess Leia was always snarky. So we got a lot of stuff. We just got a lot of stuff in a 3-day span. We got a lot of stuff. So to turn around and to call yourself, I don't even want to say toxic fan anymore. It's more stands than anything that feel like, oh, it shouldn't be this way because blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do you realize how great we got it right now? No. Like, they have no clue the beauty of saying, okay, we're getting another series, or we're getting another movie, or we're getting this, and we're getting.
We have so much that they have. Like, when we didn't have enough, you had to complain. Now we're getting too much. You don't know what to do with it, so you gotta still complain because
you still gotta bitch and whine.
Like, you can go from a pair of fucking Shacks to some Jordans, but you still gonna find a reason to complain. Oh, they're a little too tight. It's always something. Like, it's like switching cars, going from high end to low end, or low end to high end. Like, you're always it's in their nature to fucking complain. Like, it's just what they do.
It is, and you know what? And it's unfortunate that it's like that. When you don't have that
people.
Yeah, we kind of do.
Those people, we couldn't point out the beauty of it.
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, that person is black in space. They shouldn't do that. Well, Billy D. Williams was black in space, and he made it look cool. So niggas started wanting to be astronauts. See, that's what happens.
Exactly. They want the bitch and whiners, the B&Ws. I'm not coining that one. Screw that.
I mean, let's trash that one. It's inevitable. Thor comes out July 8th.
Yeah.
People are going to find a reason to complain. Oh, there's a female Thor. Oh.
Without even knowing the history. Not only that, complaining about Valkyrie, King Valkyrie. And like, what is it?
Black and white.
Like, what are you bitching about?
But it's always something.
And so like they tried to bitch about Tessa Thompson being King Valkyrie, and I'm just like, look, it's Tessa Thompson.
I mean, not even that. It's just that's what they fucking wrote. You take $1 million and you put a movie out and you do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Thank you.
If you still paying money to patronize this shit and you're gonna watch it and pay money and spend $42 for a person to watch the movie, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't have to spend your money.
No.
Like, and that's what I keep trying to stress to people. Like, you don't have to spend your money to watch this stuff, only to complain. Like, you're spending $50 to go find out what's wrong. Wait for that shit to come on streaming like I did with Doctor Strange, and then watch that shit for free.
Or free-ish. I was gonna say free-ish, but still, you still can't beat that price.
I mean, I didn't pay $40. I waited out the spoilers. I waited out to fucking talk about
Which
it.
I gotta commend you on.
I didn't see one spoiler.
I gotta commend you because you on the internet just as much as I am. So I have to
commend. If I see something that say Doctor Strange, I scroll right past that motherfucker like the plague. Didn't even say I saw nothing. I watched the movie with virgin eyes. I watched it twice because my son wasn't home. I watched it by myself one night,
which is the way to do it.
And then I watched it with him Sunday.
So let's get your thoughts on it.
I liked it. It was a lot going on.
It is.
They introduced a lot of things, but then again, it is the multiverse, so it's supposed to be all over the place. It's supposed to be Fast and Loose and Wild Wild West. America Chavez was phenomenal. We got a lot of the what if stuff in there, so they tied a lot of stuff in. Defender Strange, Zombie Strange. You had the British Captain America. You know, you have
Captain Marvel,
which was Rambo.
yeah, which was her best friend actually, instead of instead of Carol.
You had Blair Mordo back. You had fucking Professor X. You had Blackston getting Black Goat.
Yeah, Black Bolt.
That fucking name was fucking.
He said it and he still joked on his name. I was like, this motherfucker, he's in cuffs and still don't give a shit.
And then, I mean, you've had fucking Reed Richards.
Yeah.
And an empty chair that I read somewhere it was supposed to be in the Wasp and fucking.
Yeah. She was supposed to be getting killed, but they
Iron Man, which was Tom Cruise, but money fell apart. So I mean, there's rumors on that speculation, but I didn't see those till, you know, leading up kind of into the movie. And after I seen it, so I was like, yeah, it really didn't spoil nothing. But it was a lot going on, but I liked it. The story was told well. It wasn't like too much to handle. Even watching it the second time, there was stuff I missed the first time because I was just in awe because it was cinematically fucking great. Acting was great. You know, Wanda, seeing her as a villain, that kind of threw me for a loop. But it was just like, okay, I can get down with this.
Let's talk about Wanda.
She was fucking OP.
My God.
She was overpowered as fuck.
Because, I mean, folks know I'm an avid comic reader, and Wanda's always been problematic in one vein or another. But Elizabeth Olsen is playing the shit out of that.
Yeah. Best Olsen sister there is on the block.
They're for real.
Actually, the only one, because I don't.
And every version of her outfit she's worn been solid.
Not only that, but
except every version, it's been a solid. Her look has been solid as fuck.
Like, I think the Marvel solidified her as, okay, she can really act, because there was a lot of scenes in that, like playing dual roles in this movie and fucking playing the villain, fucking the emotion she was feeling. Like, she portrayed all of it to where you believed, you know, this was real to her, and that's what I really like. Like, her character stood out. Wong is always fucking top notch. Like, Wong is just.
I love that guy. I love that guy.
Like, Wong just.
Did your heart drop? Did your heart drop when she threw him off the cliff?
Not really, because I felt like he was gonna make it. Like, I felt like I thought he was gonna like be at the bottom, but I felt like he was gonna make it. I just didn't know how far he went down. But what really shocked me was the use of like Stephen Strange using the fucking
the Darkhold.
No, not even that. Like, towards the beginning, he was using like those creature arms and shit, like he was doing in What If.
Oh yeah,
into the other universe. So it was kind of like that was like, okay, they really are going What If, and this is like all like damn near all the What Ifs in one kind of.
He didn't have to flex on him at Christine's wedding though. When the shit, I was like, nigga, you did all that shit in one smooth ass move.
Yeah, this nigga flipped his cape and just fucking flipped over the thing and shit. But I think that's another aspect of it. They kind of picked up where they left off from the first movie. Like, gave us a closure on Christine and him.
Yeah.
And Christine like the brothers.
I was like,
she's like, if I can't get a
I'm quoting my man. He was like, I never knew.
He definitely was like, yeah, I'm good over here. Don't worry about it.
He can stand over you, but I know what's going on.
But yeah, I mean, it was well done. I liked it. I was like, damn, it's something I can rewatch. Again, and it not get old.
Because there's a lot, especially the scene where him and America are kind of flying through different.
See, there was a lot of
and there's only one that they can pick out, and it's the one that's in black and white. And they said if you freeze frame it, it's the world where Hydra won because it's on the front. It's
Spider-Man Noir.
That's what I thought at first, but it's literally on that blimp. There's a blimp up in the like upper.
Going on, man. Going through. I didn't want to stop it because I was like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
tried
but
to
they
paint
flipped. They were,
Red
yeah,
Notice
it's like on
too.
the front of the blimp, it's the Hydra symbol.
I
And it was
remember
like,
that
oh,
shit.
that
I
was the
like
world
watching
where
it.
he won or where they won. So
Well,
I thought it was
was
Spider-Man
whatever
Noir
they
too.
said. It was kind of like Tony Stark. Like Tony Stark went crazy and took over. There was like a universe for that. There's a lot of different universes and that gives me hope. Like, okay, we just went through. It was like what 7 or 8 they went through, and they only
Hmm.
stopped at one. So that
Yeah.
lets me know like they're about
What
to
else is out there?
fuck up some shit in a couple different movies.
Yeah. I mean,
We still got
and it,
fucking Kang coming. Like it's
yeah,
so much shit. That's what I'm saying. Marvel
like it leaves the door. It literally leaves the door open. And speaking of Kang, they are currently filming Loki season 2 right now. But it leaves the door open to say, okay, they've managed to attack every little thing over the past what 15. I want to say 15 years. Shit, they've been running shit for 15 years. Damn near. So, um, and they these pieces they keep laying in these breadcrumbs, and they're just like, okay, now we about to throw it
playing
at the
though.
wall and see if they can get away with it, and they got away with it.
I don't think they like doing it by accident. I think they know.
Oh, it's precisely planned.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
It's
every
precisely
movie
fucking
sets
planned.
up the next. It's a domino effect. Like they're just playing dominoes now.
Yeah.
Iron Man sets up the next movie, and it just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like this just big ass circle of dominoes just falling until you see Loki's face in the middle. Like it's just about to be some crazy shit.
I mean, I've often said that the way they've attacked all their movies have been basically, let's see if we can do the textile movie, like the tech movie. That was Iron Man. Let's do the period piece. That was the first Captain America. And then they said, let's do the fantasy film. That was Thor. Okay, cool. We got away with that. Let's see if we can do it again, and then do a spy thriller, which was Winter Soldier, and then let's do it again, which Thor: The Dark World really wasn't everybody's cup of tea at all. It really wasn't.
Yeah, that might have been
It,
they one. That everybody gets one. That was they one.
that was they one, but the standout scene, Loki faking his death, which we didn't know he faked his death, but he was faking his death.
I mean, it was a decent movie. It just wasn't.
It wasn't the strong.
Like, everything is on the line, and then you got dark. Then it goes
Dark
back
World,
on the
yeah,
line.
yeah.
But
thank you to Taiki Waititi doing Ragnarok and now Love and Thunder, but it goes to show you. Then they said, okay, we got that. Let's do the space opera. They got away with Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's do the mystical realm. They got away with Doctor Strange. So they are doing a storytelling that's pretty much on par, where they're saying, how can we get all these in one room? And you did it. Because you knew
they're doing a great job of tying everything together. So it's not like when you watch the next movie, like if you watch them in order, you can see how they're chained together. Like they're linked together so well that each story tells a different story, but it also tells the backstory of something else that came before it.
And this was the smart move, because now that I'm thinking about it, they attacked all the major things that you would think they would get problems with, and they solid gold on every last one of them. And then they backstepped and said, okay, we're going to the small screen now.
Yeah.
Now we can take everything we need and we can literally break it down to 6 and 8 episodes, 6 to 10. I'll just say that because some of them, due to COVID, they can break it down between 6 to 9 episodes or 6 to 10. Because what if season 1 was supposed to be 10 episodes? WandaVision was supposed to be 10, and Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be 10. But they broke it down. They still managed to break down the stories where it still fit. And it still ties into every fucking thing in the theatrical releases.
But that's what makes it so great, because now they can take those shows and the stuff that they don't want to spend time on in the movie, let's put it in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of trying to give you Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel, let's set her up here on a small screen where everybody can digest her a little better in small bites and doses. And then that's why when we throw her in Captain Marvel, it's not like this big, we got to tell her story and introduce these people and introduce these people. they've already got two of the main characters established together. So
yeah,
that's
like
what
the way
makes
they
it
just like the way they introduced Tiana Paris, Monica Rambeau, Tiana Paris. But yeah, the same way they introduced her. So now, and you just said it right there. You've already introduced, because that's the sequel called The Marvels for Captain Marvel 2. That's the sequel, The Marvels. You've already introduced two that's going to show up in the film.
if not more. I mean, because we still haven't seen the rest of Miss Marvel, so we could
Yeah, and we're not, and we're getting more from Monica. And I think there's what is it, Secret Invasion, and it's another thing she's doing, and that's the TV show.
Yeah.
So we're not even done. So I just appreciate what they're doing and how they're telling the story and how they're piecing everything together. Because like with this Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, your door is wide the fuck open now, especially not only just with the multiverse, but the ending credit. Now you done brought Charlize Theron into the fold, because the character she plays in the comics, she's his wife for a while. And she's the niece to Dormammu, who was the enemy in the very first movie. So everything, and even Reed Richards said it. He says the longer that you stay in one reality that's not your own, you leave a footprint that's going to cause an incursion. And what happened? The fucking incursion is happening somewhere else.
Well,
so now this leads to a lot of shit. They can get away with Secret Wars now.
Yeah.
They can get away with
they
shit.
Can get away with it, but that's the thing. They've opened it up so much that they can literally tell any story they want. Any story. Pick a story, let's do it. Fuck it. Either we put it on a small screen, we put it on a big screen, and tie it into another thing that's supposed to go. That's why like Sony and DC fucked up. Let's not let Sony off the hook neither.
Yeah, let's talk about that before we get out of here. You cannot do a movie based on a Spider-Man villain called Kraven the Hunter, change his story to say, oh, he's not a hunter, he's a conversationalist.
Wait,
but,
that's what they're going with?
So you're saying he saves animals. He wears a fucking lion's mane around his neck, and he's called Kraven the Hunter.
Hey, I'm done.
We were with you. We were just like, okay, Morbius was shit. Still haven't watched it. Scared to touch it. Had
That's
some
like
hope.
2 girls in 1 cup.
Oh God, don't remind me.
That's what Morbius is.
But then when you turn around, you say we're filming Kraven the Hunter, and you showed a couple still shots of behind on the set and everything else, and you just came out last week and says, oh, he protects the wildlife. I'm like, he's called fucking Kraven the Hunter.
He's a vegetarian.
He's a vegetarian. It's just I don't.
This has to go up.
They had mediocre success with Venom. Morbius is white
raisins.
people potato salad
With
raisins.
Oh,
thank you, Will.
With raisins. It's like,
oh my God. Hold on, what was it?
It ain't even Miracle Whip. They use like fucking mayo.
Hold on, what else he said? He said, "This is how you know Marvel has the next great saga planned out." Right?
They do.
And yes, this is the perfect Secret Wars tie-in. Yes, it is. I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. When you have people like Sam Jackson, who literally, in my eyes, is the fucking man next to Denzel Washington, says, I want to keep doing these films because he's a fan first and foremost. Like, he was into this shit before people knew he was into this shit. So when he got cast as Nick Fury, and you talk to somebody who's read the Ultimates, which is like an alternate universe of the Avengers, and their Nick Fury is black, and their Nick Fury looks just like fucking Sam Jackson.
They based him off of him.
Yeah.
When he took that role, they changed him in the cartoons because he.
So they were like, he actually, the people in the comics, he actually had to call the people. They did it without his permission first. And then he called the folks and he was like, yo. And he pretty much was like, you could have asked me, motherfucker. You know?
Well, I mean, he made out like a bandit because
He did. It was like it was no way you could avoid it after that, you know.
Again, if Marvel doesn't save Sony, Sony fails and they lose everything.
I think Marvel's waiting for Sony to fail.
I don't know if they're so much waiting, but they're trying to help them.
Yeah, they're helping him with the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah, that's it. Because they
said they, and you know, they don't want this Spider. They don't want Tom Holland to fail. They really want him.
Yeah,
they want him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they're when Marvel casted Tom Holland, I'll say that because Sony didn't have nothing to do with that.
No, they didn't.
So they can't afford to let Tom Holland fail because they picked him.
Mm-hmm. They don't want. I think they're just like.
That's why they letting them do the rest of them bullshit ass movies.
They
make it because they know Spider-Man is going to sell regardless, whether it's with Marvel or with Sony. Spider-Man is going to do well, but the rest of that shit, y'all know
it ain't flying. And that's why. And they don't really. That's why they're saying it. They were like, yeah, we don't really care about the rest of that shit.
Venom.
We just want producing credits on. We want producing credits and writing credits for Spider-Man and Spider-Man alone. You know, Into the Spider-Verse is going to do fine because it's animation. You can get away with that shit.
I mean, that's different.
Yeah, you can get away with that shit. That's fine. Yeah, but live action, they're just like this right here. We want to help. Basically,
Fox. Yeah, Fox was. They were doomed.
Fox was fucking up. Fox was fucking up.
Yeah, Fox.
Yeah. Fox stayed fucking up. I've never seen anybody.
I'm about to say something very controversial that I probably would never say in my life, but Fox is worse than DC.
They are. I'm not. That's not controversial at all.
Because DC is it's not hard to be below them, but
they kept putting out mutant franchise films that just got worse and worse, except for Wolverine and Deadpool. Wolverine got better when it got to Logan.
They definitely are. Them motherfuckers like, oh, you think you can do bad? Well, hold my beer.
Fox and DC having a hold my beer contest.
CW is we can't let them off the hook neither.
Yeah,
but
they screwed it.
Naomi. I'm watching Naomi on HBO Plus.
Mm-hmm.
HBO Max. Pluses and shit. It's actually good.
Okay, because I still got it on my DVR. I just got to give it another shot.
She would not let me watch it without her, and I won't let her watch it. I mean, Logan was the best Wolverine movie of all time.
Logan, exactly.
Getting that old man Logan story was the fucking best. Like everything else, the Wolverine I could have did without him going to Japan and getting Kiriko and all that other shit. I like it.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I got it on my DVR. I'm willing to give it a shot.
I think I like it because my wife like it. It's something we can watch together where she can pay attention and keep up with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look around. I still need you.
It's different. It is slow. It is a lot going on, but it's slowly going on. But like I said, it's something me and my wife watch together, so that's probably really why I'm into it as much as I am, because it's something we can sit down and be like, okay, let's watch a few episodes and with our son. So I mean, that's really more what it is. It's a family.
Yeah.
Because my wife.
But yeah, and you're right, Will. Logan is probably the best. It is. Yeah. It's not probably. Again, it is the best out of that.
Because that shit. Yeah. The Wolverine was the worst.
Because you think the Wolverine was worse than Wolverine Origins?
Well, they neck and neck. That's one. That's, one F and 2 E. Like they're there. But the only reason I say because the fucking Wolverine, like it just was, it was nonsense. It was like at least in Origins, it was a reason why they made this movie. It was to kind of tell his story.
I think it was the look. I think it was the CGI that kind of looked bad.
No, it wasn't.
They,
It was the fucking
or
story.
the reason for the Wolverine is because there was a time in the comics where he did go to Japan. That's where he, met his wife. That's where he actually had a kid that he thought died
They
and
didn't
everything
show
else.
none of that.
No,
None of that.
they really fast tracked a lot of his time in Japan.
It was him saving Yuriko from a fucking mutant machine that went to take his powers. Like it was a fucking waste of time. It was a movie that shouldn't have been done.
They upended his storyline, and we'll know what I'm talking about. They upended his time in Japan and spun it in such a way that it was just kind of like, yeah, that happened, that did not, and then none of that connects and makes sense. Yep. Yeah. Silver Samurai being a fucking robot. Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
Again, was it worth making?
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
But yeah, the Logan, fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
Fuck, and I'm not just saying that shit because I love the film. I'm saying that because it was truly a heartbreaking fucking story.
The only thing that I got out of the Wolverine was, "I see you dying with your heart in your hand." That was it.
Mm.
That line was the only thing that made sense when I watched Logan, though. I had to watch Logan for that line to make sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a fucking waste. Like, it was the worst time I've ever had.
So, I don't know. It just goes to show
I'd
you that.
rather have watched Batman vs. Superman than Wolverine.
Okay. It's fair. It's fair trade.
Not really, because neither one of them are worth watching or human consumption. They're pretty much punishment. Like, if I wanted to be like, hey, clean your room, I'm gonna make you watch Batman vs. Superman, followed by the Wolverine, my son would fucking clean. Oh, we already talked about it.
He said we don't talk about it. It's like, we try not to talk about it.
We went down that dark, lonely road again, and we brought back up that porno crap show that was BVS. That bullshit with the Ninja Turtle villain.
So it just, I think
Luthor who don't scare nobody and don't look smart, and Batman crying over Martha.
So I think it's just, but Logan, absolute masterpiece. Just because that was a much better told story. I don't even know who did that one. I got to look that up. But yeah, what do you say? Anything Snyder is an example of what not to do about making movie. True, I'll give you that. His cinematography is top notch, but his storytelling leaves something to be desired. Every Zack Snyder film I've seen, the cinematography is gorgeous. The aesthetic is it worked for 300. It worked for 300, and it worked for the first Sin City. By the time they did the second 300, which nobody asked for, and by the time they did the second. And by the time they did, cash grab.
Everybody died in the first one, nigga. Ain't nobody left.
Right. Yep. He said because he focused on Flash and not stuff. Exactly. That's why Sucker Punch didn't do all that great. Great looking film, but he's the reverse Flash Michael Bay.
Yes.
But it just is like he's all Flash, but not a lot of substance, and it just hurts the brand, I guess, because even by the time they did the second volume of Sin City, it was 10 years later.
I forgot they made the second one.
Yeah. Hell, and it was still the exact same story because I have those entire volumes. It was just, dude, it's 10 years later. Why didn't you strike when the iron was hot?
Because he wasn't there.
10 years later. Oh, the money was there. The money was there because they made money off the first Sin City. That money was there.
They put that money elsewhere.
Yeah, and that was the problem. Like A Dame to Kill For was 10 exactly. It was 10 years too late. To the point it was just like, damn, you got people who had never read A Dame to Kill For, but had you dropped Sin City and then maybe waited 3 years, because that's normally kind of like that window, and then drop A Dame to Kill For, it's still fresh in people's minds.
but that's too much. Like, right? We're depending on people to do the smart.
Who was
money.
being what movie company was? I got to look up the movie company who that was. And The Dame to Kill For is a great story. Yeah.
Oh damn!
How many people want to go watch The Way of the Water? No, not me.
When did Avatar come? The first one come out?
Yeah, the first. I can't remember. The first one came out probably 10, 15 years ago.
2012? Wasn't it 2012? I felt like it was 2012.
Probably.
I'm gonna look it up, but I don't really give a fuck, so I'm not gonna do it.
Just because I'm curious at this point. But it is
James Cameron brings you Avatar 3042.
2009.
Oh shit. Oh god damn it. They just about to make the sequel?
Yeah.
I'm cool. I didn't like the first one that much to wait for.
Me neither.
I'm good. It can keep that.
I mean, just like, come on.
It's yours,
like,
beloved.
It's yours, man.
it's yours. I'm cool, man.
I'm not the beloved.
I don't want a sequel 40 years later when everybody's like 50. I'm cool. So halfway in the grave. I'm good, man. Keep that.
Once again, it's a cash grab.
Don't
and you know it's not. No.
And then they're gonna be like, well, it didn't make no money. Why did it make no money? Because you fucking put that shit out like 21 years later.
Doesn't make sense.
Care about that. The people who watched it is now fucking in the army and drinking beers. Everybody who really liked that movie is out here fucking playing and just doing shit that they don't care about that movie no more. I'm not gonna say what they're doing, but it's still.
Do you understand that when that movie, I never went to the theater to see this movie. 2, when it finally dropped like on cable, I've never seen it in its entirety. I've seen it in parts.
I've never seen it from the beginning. I've seen
Me neither.
This nigga laying on the table and he got no legs like Lieutenant Dan and shit. And then I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Who's these blue tall Smurf looking motherfuckers? Like, I just lost.
I mean, it's the damn Pocahontas story any fucking way.
It was called the Avatar. It's called Avatar. You know what I was looking for? Fucking Aang. I was like, what the fuck is exactly. This shit?
And we're not even touching that shit.
Airbenders and shit. Like, where's the fucking Fire Tribe and all this shit? Who the fuck is these blue niggas? I'm cool.
And that came out around the same time. So that made it even worse.
Because it was Avatar and then Avatar. I was like, what the fuck is the difference? They both suck.
That's the difference. Oh my god. They both suck. They just suck on different levels. What's the level?
No,
the same damn level.
Same level. It was trash. Nobody wanted it.
It was garbage. It was in the leaps and bounding. But see, that's the thing. When beyond that, he said, yeah, exactly. Beyond that, where does the story go? Like, it goes like when you see the ending, you're just like, okay, that's the ending. Now you're not looking for more.
They did some magical rain dance, and now he's a blue person for the rest of his life.
Like, like when they said and when they announced it, I'm like,
that's like white people tanning.
What's the point? Like, what's the point?
You got darker, cool. You gonna take some of these troubles off us? If not, get blue ass up out of here. The fuck? Yeah,
so I don't know.
It wasn't that good, nigga. You had to go leave your whole race behind, my guy.
Like, and it's not even real.
Y'all tucking tails. It wasn't even like they was real fucking. It was like tucking tails into each other. Like, this shit was just weird. Like, that whole movie was fucking weird, man. That shit was just horribly thought out. Like, let's tuck these tails together, baby. And
he said, I don't care who convinced the bank on. He said the bank, the loan on these movies, but they about to take it. They are.
Yeah,
because it's so late. And James Cameron is probably one of those directors who was shitting on the superhero craze we on right now, that we've been on for the past. And he's just like, I need a new thing. Let's do this. And he probably got convinced. They was like, I'm sure he didn't even want to do it. They probably just paid him a shit ton of money.
He do it because he was like, I want to give y'all some more of these blue motherfuckers tucking tails together and fucking.
And because it's supposed to be 2 more. Like, after this one, it's supposed to be 1 more.
4?
No, it's supposed to be 3, if I'm not mistaken.
That's 2 too many. Actually, that's 3 too many.
It's 3 too many. Like, you could have stopped after the first one and been
stopped before the first one. They could have kept that first one in the can.
To be honest with you, I really didn't
It
care
could have been
for
like
it.
the Spirit of films. Like we could see that shit like 2033, and they'd be like, "Hey, here's a movie that never made it in 2009," and they'd be like, "Who are these blue motherfuckers tucking tails and shit in the jungle?"
Like, I mean, there's certain films that I wouldn't have minded seeing a sequel to. Hancock, I would have liked to see.
Nah, I was good.
No, just because I wanted to know more about the original characters. Hold on, what do you say? A lot of salty directors come out about this. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, it's a different time. Like,
You
there's
don't have to
nothing
tell a
wrong with.
story. You just have
You're
people
like,
fight on screen. Well,
yeah,
you
I'm like,
got blue motherfuckers tucking their
you got
tails together.
Francis
I
Ford
mean,
Coppola mad about. I don't want to see another superhero movie. Well, like, dude, I don't think I want to see another movie with Al Pacino and
Robert De
doing the
Niro
same
being
role.
fucking mobsters. Like these niggas is 72, and you still got these niggas out here running like street mob, like motherfucking street soldiers and shit. Like I don't want to see another mob movie. Like I'm so tired of the mob genre. Like that shit is played out. Like you've done every mob movie known to man. Like that's
Right.
that's all he does is mob movies. Like dog, like you haven't changed. You've been doing mob movies for 42 years.
Right. And it's crazy
Yeah,
because
Scorsese too. That motherfucker ain't making nothing but mob movies.
yeah, and nobody was mad at it, but it was like, dude, now you coming out sounding like a hater.
Because he is. He's not coming out sounding like one.
I mean, the movies you had are fantastic, but don't
They
get
were.
mad because this is the new thing.
But they also didn't make the amount of money that these movies are making now.
This is
That's
also
the
true.
problem.
You got awards. That's what it is. You got awards.
Yeah, he got some metal shit that if he grind up, he still wouldn't get paid off of. See, that's the problem. It's not that they don't like the genre. It's the genre's fucking making millions and billions of dollars.
This is true.
That's what it is. Mob movies is making hundreds of thousands. 100,000 is cool for a mob movie, but this nigga want more. He ain't getting more, and that's the problem. So yeah, his movie, have they broke $1 million is the question.
Right.
Because I mean, if they getting $2-3 million, yeah. But when you got movies making fucking $3 billion, yeah, that I would be salty too.
So
Especially
it's
if I've
just
been doing this shit since the 80s and I still ain't broke a Billy.
I just got all these accolades. Oh yes, this is very intense. I'm like, yeah, but where's the money?
They gave me a Razzie.
So I don't know. You do like Will said, you come off as a hater when you said
you are a hater.
like everybody that you've made those like in the case of Scorsese, all the films you've made like all these accolades with Pacino, De Niro, DiCaprio, Affleck, well not Affleck, but Matt Damon. I thought I was the only one that thought about that with it. Every time his name get mentioned, I think about that movie. You see the puppet? But that's a different time. It's a different time. And
he still wanted to be 1989 and people are running around, you know what I'm saying, craving for, you know what I'm saying.
I mean, look at the 90s.
Godfather 42.
Right. Look at the 90s. Michael Bay was running the 90s. Every fucking movie you looked at in the 90s that involved an explosion was Michael fucking Bay. And he had a signature.
And he got hated on.
Yeah. So it's like, this is what it is. It's a different time. Yeah. Scorsese and all those guys, you had the 80s. That's cool.
Again,
they're
DC in it. They had their time. They made their little money. Now they want more. They want to come back like
come back with a different story. Come back with a different story, different cast. I'm not saying Al Pacino and
genre, like make a fucking comedy or something, like a drama. You know what I'm saying? Make a drama or something. Like you keep fucking making mob movies. Mob is tired of seeing mob movies.
I would like to see a comedy done by Martin Scorsese now.
It's still gonna be a mob movie, but still.
It probably will be.
Car 54, where are you? I mean, it's just like this shit is it's out of hand, man. I'm tired of nobody cares about mob movies anymore like that.
No.
And like you can try to be like, well, superhero movies is a fad, and no, it shouldn't happen, but it's happening. Give it the times to get the fuck out the way. That's all it is to it. Like all this complaining again, like that's why DC will not get the respect from me because they had a chance and blew it.
Hmm?
And now Scorsese, whatever his name is, Scotchy, whatever the fuck his name is.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, he in the
Saskatchewan.
same boat. You had a chance. You made your movies. They was good for their time.
Yeah.
Times change. Either get with the program or get the fuck out the way. That's all it is to it.
So it's
Like there's gonna come a day
getting
where superhero movies ain't the thing no more. And when that time
right.
comes, either Marvel
Then we
transitions to
will.
something new,
Yeah.
or they go on by the way of dinosaurs. Like that. That's what happens. You know, it happens in music. It happens in movies. It happens
Hell,
in
look at streaming services now. Look at how stuff like I didn't think we were going to get Doctor Strange that damn fast on streaming service, or the Batman, or any. It used to be when a film was released,
You had to wait a year.
you had to wait a year, and
For a
then they got it cut
DVD.
down to a couple months at best. You had the 3 to 4 month release because it's in the theaters. After it did its like 3 to 4 month run, you still had to wait. Let's just say it dropped. Let's just say it dropped in February. So you got February, March, April. We'll just say May. So now May is kind of like, okay, no, yeah, February, March, April. May is when they start gearing up for summer releases. So by the time June comes in, all these summer movies are dropping, right? Anything that got dropped in January and February, you ain't seeing no more until fucking the following year on cable. If you got it earlier than that, then it was like on DVD or something like that for rental.
Bootleg.
Yeah, or bootleg. Talk about somebody that went the way of the ghost. It's still cats to be trying to sell bootleg.
Yeah,
Still.
them motherfuckers.
Yep, they did.
I like the ingenuity.
Yep, Comcast had a hold on them till streaming. They sure did. Streaming is the wave. It's the thing now. Fast, quick, easy, want it now. So, well, we're getting ready to close this out. 2-hour episode for the season premiere. That's not bad. So, DC, we'll start with it. We'll start with you. Where can it get, what's going on for what the shit tomorrow?
Season 7 is still going strong. Tomorrow we have an episode called The Light. We have 3 wonderful women coming on. We're going to be talking about their accomplishments and everything they have. And you're going to want to stick around for the reason why it's called The Light. So, there you go. And that's on all streaming platforms. 5 different YouTube pages. 5 different live pages. 2 on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Apple's Radio, everywhere like that. So, and then there's some more surprises coming down the line. So stay tuned. You can catch the What the Stuff podcast page on Facebook. What the shit, all one word _ podcast on Instagram. WTS podcast on YouTube. Space it out. And WTS all one word for Twitch. And then on Twitter, it's D Chambers 0824.
All over the place. Just go to IG for Blurred's Eye View. You go to IG, guess what you find? You find the link tree in the bio. Guess what you find in the bio? Every fucking social that Blurred's Eye View is on. Give us a follow. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch, Blurred's Eye View 1. Tune in this Thursday as I do Fury's Reacts and Reviews. I'll be talking about Ms. Marvel. I'll be talking about what other show? We should have another show coming up. Oh, The Umbrella Academy. Yes, The Umbrella Academy. And also with my new co-host for Fury React and Review, Tracy Carr, who you might remember, who was on last season. She's going to be joining me from Fury's Reacts and Reviews from here for the next couple of episodes. And it was thanks for tuning in, Will. But yeah, showing love wherever we can, doing what we can, talking about what we know, what we love. You can tune in every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. and every Thursday at 30 p.m. for this show and for Fury's reaction reviews, as I talk about only things that blurs like us and nerds like us can talk about, only the way we can. And we want to thank Will for tuning in. He's probably like our top fan tonight. He was dropping in. Oh, well, you know what, Will? Tune in Thursday because I'm talking about season 3 of the Umbrella Academy. Trust me, I'm talking about that. I got through that one through the past couple days. So yeah, I got through that one. But yeah, tune in Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on all the socials, all the little different channels, and on Opulence Radio, on the Opulence Radio app. Here's go right there. So go to opulenceradio.com, get the app. You can hear both shows throughout the week. I can't even remember the schedule anymore because it's so many. They play it so many times. But give us a follow on IG once again. Show your love. Go to YouTube. Show your love. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And as we do with every show, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for everybody for showing love. We'll be doing this again this week again. And as always, remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and most of all, encourage yourself and others. This is Chris Fury, along with the man on the wall and along with my boy, DC, the Hooded Wonder. We're out of here.